Finally TV, baby. How are you? Remember, don't just dream, inspire. Don't just imagine, create, and just don't believe, achieve. That's the way it goes down right here on Finally TV. It is a proud pleasure and honor to bring to you episode 16 of Voice of the Valley. It just doesn't stop over here at Finally TV. And today, I have a very, very special friend on the show today. He will be introducing himself. Sir, tell him your name.
Hey, what's up? I go by the name Dom P.
Hell yeah. That's my boy Dom. Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Definitely.
I appreciate you. It's been a long time coming. So we're going to jump right into this one. But just know, got a lot of love for this gentleman right here. So, I know, but let's tell the people, man. Where you from? Where were you born? All that good stuff. How'd you end up in the Hudson Valley?
Hey, I'm born and raised in Poughkeepsie, New York.
All right. Tree City.
That's right, baby. Power Kingdom.
Power Kingdom.
845.
Yup.
And
stand up.
Yeah, man.
All right, so born and raised here.
Yes, sir.
All right, there he is. So let's tell the people why you're here today, man.
I'm here to, promote. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a poet. You know, I've been a poet since the day I was born. And, I've been writing for a long time. And I'm here been performing a bunch lately. And I'm here to, to promote my spoken word stuff and get it out there to the people. The assassination. They were telling me my words are too explicit, but I didn't even curse. It was the message I was relaying to turn smiles to smirks. Issues that instill fear like the Bambino curse. His outcome ended up with a black hearse. With black tints and black rims, not even a paparazzi could see in. Total reflection because the facts and evidence scream lies and deception. Too many people needed protection. It's out in high-profile positions. And the minute they claim mastermind of the exposition, got smoked out of the equation in broad daylight right before it's rain. No questions could be asked, because the decoy fulfilled his task. And the public couldn't grasp, no more Jack, inside of his brain on his wife's lap. But it was meant to happen like that, to send a message to the masses, that the real truth should never be imagined. Because the plan and schematics are being laid in time of slave trade. Formulas of forefathers to set up democracy, the desire for money, entrepreneurs, and eventually led to the creation of secret society, with symbols and codes to speak notoriety. And this is what's protected when voices are heard, that pose opposition to white-collar words. And even as me and y'all converse, the stakes have risen and become worse. They did the same to the great Bob Marley, Fatal Ransom Cootie, Fred Hampton, Dr. King, or revolutionaries that wanted to bring equal rights to all, knowledge and peace and fame, and rise up against the government. And it happened to the next, but when it's a person in the office that's preaching the truth, it's killers that get disguised as John Wilkes Booth. And when it's an activist, they say, well, he chose, walk those shoes, he walks naked in the cold, he catches the flu. Shit. And then investigations become classified. Information not being released until 2032, and after all those years, it still won't be the truth. That's why I'm hesitant to advance if I can't see the proof. It's assassination, even if there's no bloodshed. When equal rights denied, innocent lives turned dead. It's assassination when entire races are bred to rule against common sense and judge without knowing instead. And it may not happen when it's dark outside. It's still expected. The weight to your leaning, pushing your mother's ride, totally unprotected, downtown in the middle of an intersection, and then escape without a trace and no questions. Assassinations, they say, planned by corrupt minds. I say no doubt, but really it's part of the oldest plan disguised. And those corrupt minds, they're really working for the inside. So beware with whom you confide. Peace and love. Positivity will always make the team reign supreme, like that one from Queens, you know what I mean? My name is Dom P, and thanks for having me.
Okay. Little different twist than our usual singer, rapper, business owners. I like it. The intention was always to bring all genres of entertainment on here. Okay. You know, all types of entertaining and talented people to the show. Yeah. So, comedians and these singers and producers and DJs and rappers, and now a spoken word guy. I kind of like that. I got everything going on. You know what I mean? Nobody can come to Finally TV and say that I don't put on for everything, because I am. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You're about to have some rock and some country folk up here soon. So, so you said, you were born being a poet,
Yes, sir.
But when did you realize that was a passion of yours, though?
I'd say about in middle school.
Oh, okay.
I started writing and, started rhyming, freestyling a little bit. Big fan of hip hop. I grew up in the 90s. I started writing a little bit on my own, and I realized that I had a little bit of talent.
Okay.
But when I really
realized or started taking it to the next level, or just where I really found my voice, was I went to college. You know, by the skin of my teeth, I got accepted to a college.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont.
Okay.
And it's a 2-year school. And I went there and I had this teacher. I took creative writing. I was a liberal arts major, but I took creative writing and dramatic writing. And I had this teacher that just helped me find my voice. And by finding my voice and writing a bunch of stuff and putting it out there and kind of letting go a lot of that fear I had of actually performing, I realized that, you know, people were feeling what I had to say.
Yeah.
And from there, then, you know, I started to believe in myself a little bit.
Gotcha.
And then from there, you know, I kind of always been working on my craft.
Gotcha. So you mentioned, you know, liking it, knowing that you had a passion for it in middle school, then going on to college. So when would you say you started actively pursuing a dream of being a spoken word artist?
I'd say really actively pursuing it, I'd say in about like 2003. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a little bit later on. You know, I would continue to write, you know, even through, like, I'd say I started in middle school, but, you know, through high school, like I really found my voice in college. But I moved out to the Bay Area.
Okay.
And I lived in Oakland with my brother.
Cool experience?
Yeah, it was dope, man.
Yeah.
I was out there for 5 years, and I had a blast. You know, I was working in the restaurant business, and just living the life, man. And, you know, I was recording some music, but I was doing some performing out there, you know, hitting a lot of open mics and stuff like that, and did some recordings of some spoken word stuff and some rap shit, too.
Okay. So 2003, you say you've been actively trying to do something with this thing, you'd say, right? So 2003, 2018, we got a 15-year span there.
We do.
You know?
Yeah, man.
So let's talk about it a little bit. Was it in and out of that? Was it, you know, just life happening and you couldn't stick with it? Like, what was the deal? How come 15 years of knowing you wanted to do it, but now you're here?
Right. That's a good question, man. You know, yeah, a lot of life stuff getting in the way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a recovering drug addict.
Okay.
And I've been clean for almost 7 months now.
Okay.
And that's really what's getting me back into doing this consistently now.
Okay.
So like basically in between those 15-year gaps were, you know, a lot of dark times, man, a lot of pain, and kind of in and out of pursuing my passion.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
Not
to joke about it.
Right.
But having dark times kind of lends itself to good spoken word, right?
It does. It does. Not that I didn't write during those times, but in terms of getting out there and performing, that wasn't really an option.
Right,
for
of
me.
course.
You know, I was kind of in the house doing what I was doing, and you know, no one really wanted to see me or be around me. You know?
Right. No, I get that. So with that said, though, you said that you recorded some stuff. So how have you been materializing some of these aspirations and this dream of yours? How have you been materializing it so far?
Well, recently, you know, as of, you know, since I got clean, I've been performing a bunch. You know, I've been hitting a bunch of open mics, you know, in and around the Hudson Valley, in Newburgh, at the Warehouse, at the Falcon in Marlboro. And, you know, I performed at the O Positive Festival in Poughkeepsie. That was in beginning of August. I actually had like a 40-minute set. That was the longest that I ever had. You know, I filled up about 30 minutes of it, and I did like 10 joints, and, you know, they were received pretty well.
Oh, wow, okay. I didn't get to see that, man. I apologize.
That's all right, man.
I'm sure I was working either at the hotel or a wedding.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, I'm always paying these bills, so I could bring FinallyTV to the people.
That's right. That's right.
But no, okay. So you've been basically performing.
Sure.
You know, and any aspirations or plans to record some of this stuff in the near future, or?
Yeah, I am actually.
Okay.
I do actually.
Okay.
I've always wanted to put a book out of my poems.
Oh, okay.
And I want to make it like 20 poems. It just the number doesn't have any significance.
Yeah.
It just came up with that idea of 20 poems.
Okay.
And you know, I have about 20. I mean, I have a lot of material, but I'm almost to the point where I have 20 poems that I think are book worthy.
Oh, okay.
And I'm actually working on that right now to get that going. Actually with a friend of mine, Poet Gold. Shout out to Poet Gold.
Shout out Poet
Hudson
Gold.
Valley Poet Laureate. She's a friend of mine, and she's helping me with putting getting the things going with getting the book together and getting it published.
Okay. Real quick, Poet Gold. You've been summoned to Finally TV. Not once, not twice, but a third time. Get on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Big up gold.
Big up gold, 100%. Great lady.
Yes, sir.
I think that's a great lady for you to be hooked up with and getting some help from, because she seems to have been around the block a few times.
Yeah, she has. Man.
You know,
yeah,
she knows. You know?
Yeah, she's mega talented.
Yeah.
You know, we actually, like I said, I said there's been gaps in between me, pursuing my passion. Actually, I moved back to Poughkeepsie in 2008 from Oakland, and I came home and I was kind of in the rhythm of things. I wasn't getting high so much, and I actually was hosting an open mic in Poughkeepsie at Slim's Lounge on Academy Street. And that's where I ended up meeting Gold.
Oh, okay.
And we kind of hit it off from there. And we would travel. Actually, kind of became her chauffeur for a little bit. I had a car and I wasn't working that much at the time, and she needed to get around places, so I would pick her up and drive around, and that's kind of how we became friends.
Gotcha.
And then we would travel a bit, and hit some mics and stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. So I can just tell you go pick her up and bring her here then.
I can do that. Yeah.
Big up Poet Gold,
no doubt.
So back to your story, and it's a story that is filled, like you said, with some ups and some downs, some sunshine, some darkness, but I can say that you always seem to come out, though. You know, like, at the end of the day, it's like, oh, Dom's this, Dom's that, and one day Dom's at my door, like, oh, what's going on? Let's, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like you don't go away. You don't let it beat you too long. You come back. So I commend you on that.
Thank you, man.
It's recognized by me.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
It's weird with some people, right? Like, some people you don't get to hang out with all the time, and some people you don't get to give a hug to when you want to, or it's just not the person you call when you're thinking about calling somebody. But you're definitely one of those people that, like, oh, Dom needs some? Okay, we good. It's Dom? Oh, okay, we good. Like, when I hear the name, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever it is. So you're one of those people for me.
Thank you. And as you are to me.
Yeah, it's a mutual thing, and I understand that. But I just think it's crazy how some people can have relationships like that, but not be so communicative. And I think when people connect like that, you're connecting on energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're connecting on an ideal. You know what I mean? Like, at the core, you kind of understand me. You know what I mean? And at the core, I kind of understand you. You know what I mean? And I think that understanding leads to a mutual, out of sight, but not out of mind.
Definitely.
And it's hard to explain, but I don't want to get on a tangent, but just to let you know.
Right, and those relationships are kind of, I like relationships like that, because it's there at the core, and it's like, you don't have to be around all the time.
You don't have to nurture it. I don't have to like your photo for you to know that I like you. You know what I'm saying? I'll get a call from somebody, they'll be like, oh, I thought you didn't like me because you wasn't liking none of my stuff on Facebook. Nah, I like you. That BS picture you put up, I don't care about that.
Exactly. That's how we feel. It's best to keep it real like that. You know what I mean?
Like,
for sure.
What are we going to do? So anyway, let's get back to you and what you're doing with the spoken word. What are your inspirations for this? I know this could be a loaded question, but what are the inspirations for this? And I'm assuming that there's multiple inspirations for what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of spoken word, I mean, I always knew I had a knack for words, and like I said, just a big fan of hip hop music, and people who rap are poets, and I can rhyme too and freestyle and all that, but I just always felt that my avenue was more of just being a poet, and that's kind of where I think I excel, So yeah, I mean, one of my major inspirations, I mean, I'm a big fan of the poet Langston Hughes.
Okay.
Big fan of the poet Charles Bukowski.
Okay.
And just, I mean, music too. A lot of the stuff, and a lot of jazz music. Like when I first started writing, I would write to a lot of jazz, and specifically to John Coltrane, and specifically to one of his albums, A Love Supreme.
Okay.
It just kind of like when I would listen to that album,
classic.
Yeah, it would just hit me, and like the words would just flow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, music and just like truth, and I talk about a lot of stuff, like, the human condition. We talk about addiction, talk about love, family, I just,
And you would say that those things are things that inspired you.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you agree with the kind of like the mindset or the foregone conclusion that you create better when you're influenced otherwise?
Influenced by
Drugs.
I think at first I did, like when I first started with rapping and stuff, like back in the days when I could only rhyme when I was smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then like weed sort of had like that adverse effect on me. Like it started making me like bug out a little bit and paranoid and like get like real inner to myself, And I sort of like stopped smoking, but then I gravitated to harder stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought that for a long time.
Yeah.
This is like the first time in my life where I'm actually, I've really surrendered to the fact that, that I'm a drug addict.
Yeah.
No doubt. And I'm taking the proper steps and avenues to maintain my clean,
Your
being
sobriety.
my sobriety.
Yeah.
And I've written some good stuff since I've been clean.
Yeah.
I'm actually finding out that I don't need drugs or alcohol in my life to create, and for so long I thought I did. So for some people maybe it helps. I think for me, for the longest time, it hindered me. That's why we talk about 2003 like
To 2018.
to 2018.
Yeah.
That's a long period of time,
Right.
and not much has happened in my life. A lot of destruction, and a lot of pain.
Gotcha.
Not that I didn't write some good stuff during that, but I wasn't able to present it to people and
Perform it. Yeah.
and perform it, and
Right.
and pursue, and maybe try to take it to the next level.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It all makes sense to me. I got to see all this right there. I have front row seat to Dom's life. You know what I mean? And like I say, you always come out on top.
Yeah, man.
And this time it'll be no different.
Yeah.
So.
And this time, like I said, I'm doing what I need to do to not go back to where I was.
Yeah, you're winning.
Yeah, man.
You're winning.
Yeah.
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you, brother.
I'm proud of you.
Appreciate it.
As you all know, and you're probably realizing right now, I could talk to this dude. We could go off on tangents for the next 2 hours. So to keep on track and to switch the topic a little bit, because I think we could talk about being talented and putting words on paper and being inspired by stuff for a long while. We could get lost in that. So let's switch it up, and for the people that don't know Dom like I know, let's talk about you a little bit. You know what I mean? And maybe like some favorite activity or sport. So, if you're not working, you said you work over at the golf course, right?
Yeah.
College Hill?
College Hill.
College Hill
Yep.
Golf Course. Get a membership. Let's go. If you're not working, if you're not penning something, if you're not hosting an open mic, if you're not performing at an open mic, what's a favorite activity for you? Or sport? Like if you were gonna, you need to burn some time. What are you gonna do?
Honestly, I said right now, currently in my life, I've been playing a lot of golf. Like,
Oh, okay.
I work at a golf course,
Yeah.
but I also play golf too.
Okay.
Um,
Smart.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, and it may not sound fun to a lot of people, not golf,
Yeah.
but a lot of my time right now, besides work and besides golf, is really focused on my recovery.
Okay.
From
You're working on you.
I'm working on me.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm doing. A lot of reading. I go to meetings every day.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's I was far out there, so to get back to where I'm at, just to be here present today with my man doing this interview,
Yeah.
it took a lot of hard work, and it's going to continue to take a lot of hard work. So
Got you.
that's kind of where I'm at.
Got you. I'm glad to be a part of it, brother.
Yeah, man.
So if you're on the golf course and you just went 9, you did the back 9 and you shot like a 78 because he ain't good, right?
Always capping.
right. So let's say you got that back 9 done. You ain't got nothing to do. You good for the day. Responsibilities taken care of. Now it's time to eat, but you can only eat one thing that day. What is it gonna be? What's a favorite plate of food for you?
Well, I'm Sicilian.
Okay.
So Italian food.
Okay.
I like linguine with clams.
Mm.
Anything shellfish.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of clams, mussels,
Okay.
oysters.
Okay.
I say one dish if I had to have it.
Yeah.
My last dish.
Yeah.
it'd be Super Depeche.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
That's
there you
what
go.
I like.
Maybe I'll put a picture of that up so you guys know what the
Okay.
hell that is.
Fish soup. Translate to fish soup.
Yeah. So with that said, and this, you probably won't say home, but don't say home, because everybody says home. And everybody should say home. But what's a favorite place for you? You know, you've traveled a little bit. You've gone all over the up and downs of Hudson Valley. You know, if I said to you, yo, Dom, take me to your favorite place right now. Like, where are you taking me? Where are we going?
You know, I used to go up to this spot. It's out in Hillsdale.
Okay.
It's out by where Mont's work.
Okay.
It's called Bash Bitch Falls.
Mhm.
It's just, you know, it's like a 1.5 mile hike into the woods.
Mhm.
And you know, it's a trail you park. Actually, where you park is in New York. And then the trail where you walk, you're in Massachusetts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's pretty dope like that.
Yeah.
And you know, the trail kind of ascends up a little bit, and then there's just this beautiful waterfall. You know, there's these stairs that go down pretty far to get to the bottom of the waterfall. And I used to go there a lot when I was younger. We actually, you're not supposed to jump off. It's about a 40-foot drop, and
That's nice.
yeah, it's dope. But it's pretty shallow. So like when you jump, you know, you hit the bottom, like, you know, so
Yeah. Pretty careful.
yeah, you got to be careful. I probably wouldn't jump off it now.
Yeah.
But I'd say that's one of my favorite places, man, to go and just. I haven't been there in a minute,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. You speaking to me, because I'm a Pisces, man. I love the water.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that just works for me.
yeah.
So, and this is probably a great question for you. What's you probably have both, but is there a pet peeve? You got a pet peeve that just drives you crazy nowadays? Is there one? It doesn't have to be one.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it classifies as a pet peeve, but I can't stand when people lie to me.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just people, like, lying to me is like, I ain't messing with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's an instant turn on.
It really is, you know, and I've been dealing with some of that lately, like some people, because I'm a supervisor at my job,
Yeah.
some people doing that, and I don't know if that's really a pet peeve.
Yeah. No, it is.
Okay.
I don't like being lied to.
Yeah.
That's a pet peeve. You know? Is there a line of advice that you've been living by? It could be lately, it could have been forever, but is there a line of advice that kind of keeps you standing up the way you want to stand up right now?
Yeah, man. It's before you roar, breathe.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, you know, I actually got it in a fortune cookie, like a minute ago. I actually got it tattooed on my arm. You know, and it really spoke to me. You know, like, I mean, breathing is, you know, without breath you can't live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, it translates to me as if you need to attack, then you need to breathe so your attack is fierce and crisp. But most of the time, if you breathe and take a second, then you realize that an attack is unnecessary. You know, so that really speaks to me. And this has been tattooed on my arm for a long time, and I didn't really heed those words for a long time. But I've been starting to actually, you know, utilize these words in the way that I handle myself these days.
Okay.
And it's been helping me.
Sure. That's a great line, though. Before you roar, breathe.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
That's what's up. One of my favorite questions on this whole thing is to ask people, you know, the first time they felt like a star, because, you know, I got performers coming on here, and, you know, they might do a small tour, or, you know, they've been doing some crazy shows and they got made to feel like a star, you know. But I'll switch it up a little bit for you, and I'll say, where's the place? Let's keep it local, because we're talking about the 845.
Formerly the 914.
Yeah, you know. What's your favorite spot? And it might have been that positive one, but what's your favorite performance that you've had in these last 7 months that you've been really going at this thing and really, you know, putting you first?
Yeah, it was actually at the Falcon in Marlboro.
Okay.
Actually, Gold, she has a a monthly session over there. It's called Poelities, and she has normally 3 acts, and I actually was the opening act. I had about, I think I had 15 minutes. I think I filled up about 12 minutes of them, and I did 5 poems, and it was really I think it was my second time performing, you know, since I kind of got back to doing it, and I just lit that mic up, you know. I know
Nice.
I did,
Yeah.
and the response from the people was great, and it just felt really good.
Yeah,
you know?
man, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So that's great, man. The Falcon, I want to get over to the Falcon myself.
Yeah,
I want to go there on an open mic night, but I might even want to talk to them about doing one of my showcases there.
Yeah, you
know,
should.
The layout is so cool there.
It is.
You know,
Yeah,
it's so conducive. If you haven't checked out the Falcon in Marlboro yet, and you like performances, I know not just open mic stuff. They have all types of bands and stuff that go there. Like, it's a nice night out.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's a nice night out.
Yeah.
All right, so coming to a close on the interview.
Yeah, man.
Where can the people, this is where I give the opportunity to everybody who comes on to talk about where they can find you.
Sure.
You know, how can they know where to go find Dom P that is next, you know, open mic. So just look into the camera, tell the people where they can find you, where they can follow you at, and I will put it up on screen for you, but take away.
Yeah. So you can find me on Facebook at Dom P. It's all caps, DOM space P period. At Poet or you know, it's a musician's page. So
Okay.
Dom P. At Poet Extraordinaire, lowercase, all one word.
Okay.
And that's really where I'm at. You know, the only place that you can view some of my stuff. As of now, you know, like I said, I'm working on some other things, and I have a show coming up at the Falcon.
Okay.
It's September 26th.
Okay.
It starts at 8 p.m. I'll probably go on about 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And that's at Poelities, hosted by Poet Gold. And it should be a good night. It's free admission, and they have food and drink there. And you know, as Gabriel was saying, you know, it's a real nice venue, and I'd love to have you come out and support, and check me out.
Oh yeah, and the 26th, that doesn't sound like a weekend.
Nah, it's a Wednesday night.
Yeah,
So,
I can actually make it to one.
oh,
Look at
nice,
that.
nice.
I ain't gotta work a wedding that day.
Yeah, so if you're looking for something to do midweek,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
come check me
The
out.
26th, you
The
said?
26th,
26th.
September 26th.
Yeah, what time?
The show starts at 8 p.m.
Okay.
I'll probably be on about 9.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Dom P, man, it has been a pleasure talking with you. I was very happy to bring you in front of this audience. I think you're going to gain a couple followers from this.
Cool.
You know what I mean? I'm going to try to send people your way to your Facebook page, and we're going to take it away from there. But I wish you all the luck. You know, I'm here when you need me. If you want to do some more promo for other stuff you're doing later in the year, you know, let's talk about it. Let's get on here. You know what I mean? We'll let the people know. But that's our show for today, party people. So I am Gabriel. He is Dom P. This is Finally TV, bringing you Voice of the Valley, episode 16. 16!
Yeah.
Dom, thanks for coming, brother.
Pleasure's been mine, yeah.
We out.
Peace.